Solo. There's another Star Wars movie. Perhaps you've heard of it, and it stars Alden Ehrenreich. These guys, my friends here, are fancy, and they have seen it. I haven't seen it. I'm going to go on Monday. I'm taking Nicholas on Monday.
You don't sound excited.
No, I am. I know. I really like Alden. No. I like Alden Ehrenreich, and I liked Rogue One, and I like these different avenues into the story that we know, and so I'm really curious to see it. I love Donald Glover, and I'm curious to see him as Lando. That's awesome casting. We're going to do a full review. Well,
we'll do some
many
reviews.
reviews.
Yeah,
But not today.
starting tomorrow. By the way, it's the Thursday shows that run on YouTube, that's where we still curse. So don't flip out because we don't curse on Facebook. That's all that's about.
Gosh darn it.
There's not some terrible conspiracy, so let's just let that go.
There is. Okay, so Solo, you guys saw it.
Yeah.
Right. Well, so
go say what you want to say.
The news, for instance, is that it got kind of a tepid response at Cannes. Right? People are like, You know, I tweeted the other day the gif of Han Solo in the very first movie where he's like, fine, we're all fine here. Everything's fine. How are you? Which is one of my favorite scenes of that movie because Harrison Ford didn't learn that line so he could kind of riff on it.
Make it awkward.
And it's a great Han Solo moment. It's fine.
But we'll
get more into it.
Right, so Alonso went to the premiere of it.
Yes.
And then they had its, whatever else they want to call it, world premiere. At Cannes,
Cannes.
like
and
yesterday.
And people were like,
It only got a 4-minute standing ovation. That's all.
My review is at thewrap.com. You can feel free to go read that. I am kind of not super into it, but I do like Alden Ehrenreich and I do like Donald Glover, and they're very good, and I would have preferred a better movie around them.
Yes.
But,
do you think reviews even matter in a situation like this?
Probably not. I mean, I don't. I'm sure that there might be some rumblings of trouble in town just because, they had to redo Rogue One. They had to redo this one.
They had to get new directors.
Exactly. Last Jedi didn't make all the gajillions. It only made half the gajillions. I don't know.
So I would also think that we are approaching a point maybe with Star Wars where reviews might matter a little bit more, partly because of the coverage of this troubled production, but also we're getting so many more of them, right? It used to be, when I was a kid,
it was an event.
You had to wait a couple years between your Star Wars movies.
Yeah. It's like Terrence Malick. You had to wait for it, and then they just start coming out.
Right. We just got one 6 months ago.
We got like 2 a year.
And there's a little bit of me that I'm like, maybe it's not so special.
Yeah, make me want it a little
Wait,
more.
if you have Star Wars fatigue, then what hope is it? The man has an entire room of toys.
We did start thinking about what would be some other interesting stories coming out of that universe, right? I mean, this one gives you a lot of Han's backstory and a fair amount, of other things as well. We've seen the mission to get the secret plans for Star Wars, for the Death Star. We got the whole prequel, which is like, here's how the Empire and here's how Darth Vader became Darth Vader. But there's a bunch of other stories that they could tell, right? Like the easy one, the gimme is, okay, people like Rogue One, then let's do that stories where all the Bothans died, getting the plans and the location and all of that for the second Death Star,
Alonso's
right?
very excited about this.
Look, I'm weird. I'm the weird outlier. I didn't like Rogue One and I did like Last Jedi, and apparently
I liked them both.
That is internet heresy.
No, I think you're allowed to like them both.
This is my favorite tweet of late. Somebody at Tiny Media Empire. This is in all caps. He writes, "I love Star Wars, mostly 4 and 5, but not 6, 1, 2, or 3. 7, 8, and Rogue are awful. None of the Ewok movies or cartoon. Not the TV special. Only one of the cartoons. The video games are terrible. George Lucas is the worst. Okay, I like 2 movies and the AT-AT toy." So I think there's that joke that nobody hates Star Wars like a Star Wars fan.
Right. Okay. That tweet is wrong. The games are awesome.
Okay. Well, fair enough.
Battlefront 2 is good.
Yeah.
My kid gets super anxious after he plays it. That means it must be good.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's doing its job. So I am curious about a Chewbacca movie, all on Kashyyyk in subtitled Wookiee speak.
Oh my God,
Can we
that
do
would
that?
be amazing, right?
It would be like the first 20 minutes of the holiday special, but with subtitles.
But
No,
good.
I mean you could get Mel Gibson to do it like he does.
Oh, like
with
Apocalypto.
right?
There we go.
What's the movie?
Kashyyyk-alypto.
What's the movie? The Ukrainian death film. It could be like that.
Oh, right, the
What was it
purge.
called?
No, not the purge. It's the.
It's Ukrainian, and they're at a death school, and
there
are no
great movie.
subtitles.
It's super bleak.
It
I
would
love
be like
it.
that.
Not
but
the Serbian
with
film.
No, the
Wookiees.
Serbian film is something else
Now I'm
entirely.
going to look it up while you're talking.
You know, I would love to see a whole movie about B. Arthur as the cantina owner. Sadly, she has passed away, so I would settle for a Maz Kamata movie, which is
Actually, that'd be a good one. That would be
the other cantina owner, which is the CG character played by
Is it Lupita?
by Lupita Nyong'o.
Okay.
You know, and since I'm a big fan of Rena Owen, I would watch a whole movie about her character from Attack of the Clones, Tonwei, the woman who runs the clone manufacturing thing.
Wow, see, that
what's her
one's-
home life like?
That one stuck in your brain.
I don't know that you get a
So
whole
too.
movie out of that one.
I want a movie about Padme Amidala's stylist,
Okay.
because her look has definitely
So
evolved
you want
over
the
the
Phantom
years.
thread
Yeah.
for
there we go, of the Phantom Menace.
That is really good.
Or actually, no.
She's always cursed. That's inside her lining.
A movie about her entourage.
Yes.
All those people surrounding her who sort of look like her.
Keira Knightley.
Oh, yeah, they got stories.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
well,
It would be
goofy
better
like-
than the
there's
actual
some-
entourage movie.
Yes.
I think there's some interesting stuff we could get, right? Like you could get Biggs at the Academy and what, like before he defects, right? Because the Academy that we hear about in Star Wars that Luke's friend goes off to is the Imperial Academy, right? The same one that Han goes to in the canon. And so at some point Biggs like, oh yeah, you know what? I'm out of here, right? And ends up joining the rebellion. So that could be like you could get that story. What's you know, is it like Taps? Is it, you know, I mean, maybe.
Like, you know, again, sadly, we don't have Carrie Fisher around anymore, but, you know, what about the immediate aftermath of the destruction of the second Death Star? Like the rebels sort of, are they taking over? What's the political turmoil? How are they quashing what's left of the Empire?
So they
didn't do a very good job.
So that is at least what a lot of the coverage around the TV series that Jon Favreau is working on is going to cover. It's going to be set right after that. That's that timeline.
Once the pan flutes have died down
Right.
and hologram Yoda
and you'll
has scurried back to his hole.
And so
in
you'll see the
swamp.
other thing is it actually canon, the fan theory, that the wreckage of the Death Star basically was so catastrophic to the Endor moon that all of the Ewoks get wiped out.
Ooh,
Right?
fan fiction.
I would watch, you know, like people have talked about a Boba Fett story, you know, at one point that was allegedly happening, maybe not.
Well, you see baby Boba Fett.
Right, he's in some of the
Episode 3.
Well, and then you also get kind of like
Yes, because
preteen-
Jango Fett is in the...
Right.
Yeah.
And then you get preteen Boba Fett in, I think, the Clone Wars animated series.
Okay.
And so Lucasfilm has said that Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, that's all canon.
Okay.
Well, you know what? It's not Star Wars related, but having seen Donald Glover play Lando Calrissian, I now want Donald Glover and Beyonce to remake Mahogany.
Oh, wow. That's good.
That's $1 million idea, Hollywood, and I'm just giving it to you.
Okay.
Gold. No one pays attention.
Here's the movie I would watch the hell out of. I want an R2-D2 solo movie. I want like a whole movie just R2-D2 on his own.
Oh, like the Minions movie?
Yeah, but just R2-D2. Like I would want like him
Not
on his
even
mission,
C-3PO.
like all of the stuff. Like he keeps the whole like rebellion alive between Revenge of the Sith and New Hope. Like
Or a new one where R2-D2 and BB-8 solve murders.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And can they have tea? Can they just drink tea and gossip?
sure.
Just bleep at each other?
That'd be awesome.
They'd be like the robot Snoop sisters.
All right, all of these things may or may not ever
Droid,
come to
sorry.
a theater near you, but we're definitely talking about Solo at least tomorrow and probably for the rest of our lives.